That brings us into the one PR business development.
Yes, sir.
What is the cash access problems?
The cash access problem is what many small businesses encounter whenever they try to go get a small business loan. Now, what's messing the game up right now is that all these social media influencers on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, they're making it seem like you can have no documents, you can go to a bank and then get 100 bands in like 3 days. Completely false. Like to the point that I went to an institution myself, and the branch manager told me that such a large influx of people were going into her branch trying to get these no doc, no nothing loans, and they're like, wow, these people really have no idea what the hell they're doing. But then I come in and I go there with my my booklet, my EIN number, my LLC, all my 3 to 6 months of bank checking statements, all of my different financials, and I'm able to walk in there and within 14 days get approved for 25 grand, 0%. Why? Because I did it legitimately, right? So to answer your question, the cash access problem is when your average business owner has trouble getting access to cash. And that being said, that's because they're missing one of the 3 C's. You know what I'm saying? That would be cash flow, collateral, or credit. Cash flow, typically they look for about $6,000 to $10,000 coming in and out of your business checking account for about 3 to 6 months. Credit, they typically want to see with a 700 or 720 personal credit score, because initially when you get business credit, they're going to ask for a personal guarantor because your business isn't that much established. They don't know you. So as opposed to them lending you money blindly, they're going to attach your social to it. So God forbid you default, they come at you personally.
Exactly.
Yep. And then collateral could be anything like a home. Could be a John Deere tractor trailer. Clear for the studio for collateral because all this different equipment and whatnot, whatever. It could be Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? Some type of cryptocurrency, gold, any kind of tangible asset. So that's what they look for, the 3 C's. So the more of those that you have, the higher likelihood that you're going to get approved for business loans at a better rate and much more access to money and capital.
Gotcha. Right.
What made you start with the business development company?
So I started seeing the fact that on social media, I started seeing that credit repair started getting very saturated. So everybody and their mother was a credit repair specialist. Everybody was, making these TikToks and doing this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, bro, it's getting so washed. Even though I know they can't do what I do, and maybe some can, maybe some can't, but I know how I move. So I was like, you know what? How do I take my credit repair business to the next level? I've already had one PR Credit Solutions up and running again since May of 2020. So I said, you know what? I want access to bank capital because I want to be able to do bigger and better things for the future moving forward. So I started doing my own business credit. I took some courses. I got some licensing, some certifications. I had access to a software and this, that, and the third. I did that for about 12 months. And then I'm like, you know what? Now that I see it's working, because I'm always my first test dummy or lab rat. One PR Credit Solutions first customer was me. One PR business development client, first one was me. Because I want to see what works and what doesn't work. Because then this is what I'm going to do with the clients. And obviously what works, continue, and what doesn't, take it out the way. So I'm happy to say that in the past 9 to 12 months, I've been able to get on my second level of business credit. So I'm halfway to my goal. Because when you start going to tier 4 business credit, that's when you can start getting them big boy loans of 100 grand, 250, $500,000 with no social, strictly off the EIN number. And that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? To be able to procure funding and lending without having to utilize your social as a personal guarantor.
Nice.
That's how you get to the bag.
Right.
But also just make sure that I see somebody on the internet the other day say something that was very, very I think of Jason White, cool dude. And he says that, all right, cool, you can have access to the business credit, but understand this, fam, you still gotta pay it back. So make sure if you're taking on 100 bands, make sure you have a nice plan to be able to pay that joint back. Because the worst thing you could do is work your butt off for the next 18 months, get business credit, get access to $500,000, and then blow it. Like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the purpose. Yes, you can go bankrupt, and maybe you want to do some funny style shit with the 100. I don't know. Have a way to recoup those funds. Just use it the right way, guys. Don't take it and blow it on things that are liabilities or assets, things that appreciate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cars are not an asset, they depreciate, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're like an old school, whatever, that, that's to do with store, whatever. For the most part, invest your money into things that could, like gold, commodities, real estate always goes up, things like that, you know what I'm saying? Tangible things.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you help new businesses establish credit?
So the way they do it is when they hire me, I do an audit. So just the way I do personal credit, I take their business, I put it on Google, I put it to a couple different search engines. I see if they're established in New York State. I see if they're established with IRS.gov. I see if they have Dun& and Bradstreet, you know what I'm saying? That kind of monitors their scores. I look for a couple of key things. But the first thing they got to do is something called their foundation. So before we could even start thinking about applying for business credit, the first thing I'm gonna ask you, yo fam, how is your personal credit? If your score is anything less than a 700, we cannot start. Why? Because I know that once I do your 15 steps of initial foundation, if your personal credit score is not 700, you're not going to be able to get the first 1 to 2 tiers. Because the first thing they ask you is personal guarantor. And if you're not at 700, you will get automatically denied. It's different like a bank. When you go to a bank, there's a very strict underwriting process. So then it goes to a banker and they go to underwriting and they look at it and blah, blah, blah. With business credit, it's not like that. Everything is all automated. So what they'll do is, all right, bet you go to the website, you go to the lender, they'll say 10 steps. They'll be like, all right, 700 credit score, business address, business checking account, established, 411 listing, 800 number, corporate email, blah, blah, blah. If you have those parameters, press click, and most likely you're going to get approved.
Right.
But if you do not have those prerequisites or pre-qualifications to apply for that particular lender, then don't even play yourself. Don't do it. So the beautiful thing is with me, I take the guessing.
Sides of the coin as well.
For sure, that's a blessing as well.
Right.
But I take the guessing out of, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna get approved. No, because I know that when we're gonna press apply, that we fit all the parameters. Because if we don't, then we're not gonna press apply. We're gonna make sure you and I work together collectively for the next 12 to 18 months to ensure that we hit all of those bullet points. And then we press apply. And then we get the bag. And then once I get you to a good level, not only can I help you build your business credit, but then what else can I do? I can help you get funding. Because now through my lenders, I have access to over 100 lenders. All different walks of life, all different businesses, whatever. So now once I fix your personal credit, then I build your business credit, then I get you the funding as well. And then to take it to the next level, if and when you're ready, I can sell you a credit. Because I will be starting my real estate course this Tuesday. And by next month, I'll be a licensed real estate agent. Because the majority of people that come to me to fix their credit ask me, oh, I'm trying to get a house in 6 to 12 months. Absolutely, that's great. I know all the parameters, not only that, but I'm gonna sell you the house as well.
Nice.
So I'm a triple dip.
No, that's nice. We just did a real estate interview like last week.
Yeah, I was telling them that.
Awesome.
And I was saying like that's needed for us, period. Because majority of the minorities, we don't own, we rent. And rent is pricey. So basically, with is there a number like once you repair somebody's personal credit, right, and you get them to that 700? Now you're working on their business, the loan or whatever. With that, do they look at how long that person has had a 700 credit score, or just
No, as long as it's 700 when we run it, because the credit reports update every 30 days. So FICO updates every 30 days, as opposed to like Credit Karma, which is once a week. So as long as they're at 700 or plus on all 3 bureaus, because typically they'll look at different ones, but I like to have it across the board. I don't like guessing. So I'm like, I bet, no doubt. So now when I run your credit the 30th day to refresh the thing and we're at 700, I bet. Let's move forward and apply now. Because my thing is your credit score could change month over month. Because you could be at 720 right now, and then you can go use a credit card and blow it on for Christmas, and now utilization goes up, score goes down. I try to apply for a business loan, you can, because now I'm at 660. I was 700 on December 1st. Yeah, but you also blew 5 G's on toys for the kids on Christmas. So now utilization went from 10% to 45%, and now boom, your score dropped 60 points.
60 points, yeah.
So now, it's counterproductive. So that's why these things, your regular person that may not be in this particular business may not know these things. That's why you hired me as your consultant, as your liaison, to help you on the personal side and the business side. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Is it hard to establish business credit without a company's assistance?
No, it's actually not. Anybody can do what I'm doing. But my thing is, make sure you got the money to pay for your education, to get the certifications, to get the software, to establish the EIN, to do all the different things, have the money to be able to establish your tier 1, tier 2, tier 4 accounts. Make sure you could afford all that before you jump out the window. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not like you could just walk into a bank and go, this is my business, this is what I want, and you gonna get it.
You gotta
Not
have
at
the money.
all. And the reason why I know that is because I've done it myself. I've walked into the businesses. The beautiful thing is, I'm not endorsing anybody, but Shout out to TD Bank, Key Bank, American Express. These are some of the lenders that helped me establish nice chunks of change within the first 12 months of establishing business credit, whatever the case may be. But even those, with all of my credentials, all of my paperwork and all that, it was still tedious. Key Bank, not as much. Key Bank is really good for tier ones, but you got to have, again, 3 to 6 months of checking accounts. You know what I'm saying? With a
Right.
legitimate checking account. They want to see a 100 number. They
Exactly.
want to see a brick and mortar address or a virtual address. They don't want to see your home address. They don't want to see a Gmail. They don't want to see your personal cell phone number. They want to see you listed on 411. They want to see you have a website. These are certain things that these are the at the bare minimum. If you don't have these things, don't even try to apply for a loan. You're not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you want to continue to listen to all the different, YouTube University and TikTok influence, whatever, good luck. It's bait and switch. If you want to come holler at a real one, don't be fooled by the fly Averex. Shout out to Averex. Don't be fooled by the champion hoodie and the ACGs. I really get to it on a professional level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So again, if you want to go with somebody in a suit that's talking all that corporate talk and they're gonna charge you 3 times what I do, and not have that interpersonal relationship with them as your prerogative, or you know what, try to do it yourself. Again, it's gonna take you a while because there's just so many things through trial and error. It's not easy, G's.
I don't never encourage nobody to do mostly everything themselves. With certain things you cannot do yourself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I look at people like, let's say they do their taxes. Some people do it and skate by that too. You know what I'm saying? But then there's the people that's doing turbo taxes, and then I'll rest at them later.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want to take it. Do you want to take that chance?
Right.
Do it yourself.
That
If
goes
you don't
into,
wanna
you
take
know what I'm
that
saying? Like,
chance,
why do you recommend a client using, why do you recommend using the company to help with business credit?
Because once again, I take the guessing game out. So they might not necessarily know that, okay, bet if I don't have a website, I might not be able to get approval. Because my thing is, this is the beautiful thing, right? I got the cheat code because all of the different tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, I know what they look for. Like I got the qualifications. It's like everyone has 5, 7, 10, 15 different parameters they need. So like if I'm missing something, I know not to apply for them. I know if I have all things, I'm gonna apply for them. So to answer your question, I take the guessing out of it because I know that I'm gonna be able to get you this credit account. I know I'm gonna get you this funding. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is that if you get denied, some of them have a grace period. You can't apply again for another 3 to 6 months. So what if you get denied 3 times?
Right.
18 months. Rather, if you would have paid me,
yeah, we'll do it half the
you
time.
would have been super up in 18 months rather than
Yeah.
guessing that.
So that's why we choose 1PR.
Absolutely. So 1PR Business Development is real quick. If you go on my website, oneprbusiness.com, you can see there's different pricing methods. So I'll tell people this. If I told you today, legally, give me $300 and then X amount of time, I'll give you $3,000. And you know me, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like, is that something you think is a fair trade? Like, give me 300 and I can show you how to make 3,000? Like, is that something that you would consider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So what I say is this. Take that same math. I charge $3,000. But I can get you access to $300,000. I'm asking you for 1% of what you potentially can get.
Exactly.
So what's the difference? I think that's a good number.
I'm definitely.
And trust me,
Look.
the average person that we speak of is spending way more than 3 stacks. They blowing it on the za, they drinking the Casamigos, they tapping the bottle with the hen rock. They're out there with the strippies, they got the Gucci belts, you know what I'm saying? They got the J's, you know what I'm saying? But 3,000, oh my God, I don't know if I can do that. I'm gonna ask you up front, baby. I got payment plans, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Allocate your money correctly, and you have that money. And then again, all I'm asking for is 1%. I show you how to make 3K and 300K in 12 to 18 months. And that's a fact. Why? I'm doing it myself. I'm living proof.
Nice. What does fundability mean for someone in business?
So fundability goes back to the thing that I speak of. So before we can even go ahead and apply for a business account, before we could even do an account, our fundability has to be down correct. What does that look like? Again, EIN number, being registered with the IRS, Secretary of State in New York, having a 800 number, having a virtual or brick and mortar address,
Right.
having a 411 listing, having a corporate email that's not a Gmail, etc., 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 right? So there's about 15 parameters that we speak about foundation or fundability before you could even start establishing that. So a majority of small businesses, they get denied off the rip because their foundation, aka fundability, is incorrect. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
what I do, once again, I reiterate, this is one of my catchphrases. I take the guessing out of the game because I know this is what got to be done. Why? Because again, I've done it myself and I do it for my clients. So I can only tell you what works. But I can
Right.
also tell you what doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So taking the guessing game out of it to know damn well that if you invest your funds into one PR credit solutions or business development, you're gonna get an ROI, return on your investment. Absolutely.
Someone to make sure their business is being reported to a credit bureau.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways, but most folks either use Dun and Bradstreet, so dnb.com, or a company called Nav. So Nav, you're able to look at your different reports. There's 5 agencies. I always forget one. I don't know why. I tell myself I'm remember, and I always forget that one. But you can look at Dun and Bradstreet, DNB, Experian Business, sorry,
Equifax.
Equifax IntelliScore, Experian Business, Dun and Bradstreet. One's called Credit Secure. That's 4. And then there's like a miscellaneous one that like most of them don't look at, so I don't really care about it. But once you go on nav.com and DNB, those are the main ones you're gonna look at. And then you can make an account with Experian Business or Equifax IntelliScore. And those are all different scoring models. But the beautiful thing is you want to be able to focus on all of those. Because you might go to a lender that might look at DNB and might look at Credit Secure and not care about Experian or vice versa. They might only care about Experian, not DNB. So it's important, sir. Like you literally have to have some funds to be able to monitor all of those different, all the different ones. And the thing about business credit, there's no such thing as business credit repair. If you miss a payment, you're washed. That's the biggest thing you could. I don't care what you do. Don't ever, no matter the weather, ever miss a business credit payment because you cannot fix it. And all business credit is the likelihood of you being able to pay on time. So as long as you have multiple bills and accounts open, you're paying them in a timely fashion, and you're not late, your score will automatically go up. You miss one payment, you're washed. Not saying you can recoup, but it's very hard.
It's gonna be hard to
Absolutely.
What's some small business failure statistics?
Some small what?
Business failure statistics.
If I'm not mistaken, most recently the statistics are that 50% of businesses will fail within the first 12 months. You know what I'm saying? 50%. That's a high range. And
Yeah,
80% within the first 5 years. So that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. So you have to ensure then that there's so many reasons, but a lot of it, based upon my research, is the lack of access to capital. Let's say you own a pizzeria. And then, what's your biggest commodity that you need? The pizza oven, right? If that joint go under and you don't got bread to do that, you literally can't make bread and you can't make bread. Either or, you know what I'm saying? Both ways, figuratively and literally, right?
Right.
So what do? If you have credit, you got the Amex, you know what? Swipe it, boom, because then as soon as you up and running, go back to making that dough to make that bread. You know what I'm saying? To make that pizza, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to not having access to capital, having all of your personal accounts maxed, having zero business credit. Now how you gonna get 10 bands to get a new oven?
Yeah.
Then what? What's the next step? You're gonna borrow, hard money lending, someone gonna beat you over the head. Yeah, I'll lend you 10,000, but I need a 30% interest. Damn, son. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna pay back 3Gs on top of the 10. You might not have that. The business could be.
Yeah, most people don't have access to liquid like that.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they don't have any savings. The economy's messed up. Inflation, high interest rates. Maybe the business is going downhill because of time of the year. There's so many different factors.
Right.
But my thing is, if you have access to capital, either on the personal or business side, no matter what happens, you always got some bread. Even if you don't have the actual liquid there, there's ways to go around it. You can liquidate some of your credit cards, you know what I'm saying? Like, to do stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Some of them are not illegal, but they may be frowned upon, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can still do it. It's not illegitimate. It's just, frowned upon. But you can always liquidate some of your credit into cash. You know what I'm saying?
What's some of the issues with banks funding and lending?
Yeah, so a lot of the issues is, like I mentioned before, when it comes to banks, regular traditional banks, the underwriting process is very stringent, very difficult, right? So they make you go through leaps and bounds. Won't say the name, but one particular bank that I've recently got a line of credit for, whatever, bro, it took like 3 months to give me like 20 bands. I'm like, yo, I have all my paperwork, everything is 3 years of banks, the 3 years of IRS statements, 3 years of like bank statements, EIN this, that, and the third, whatever. But just because the underwriting processes for major banks take so long that it takes long. Even though I did get the bread, but again, what if I owned the pizzeria and I needed that money yesterday to fix my thing? I would have waited 60 days to be up and running. As opposed to if you have business credit and you go through some other non-traditional fintech, financial tech businesses, right?
Right.
That lend, you can get responses back within 72 hours. So you can literally apply for something, fit the parameters, and in 3 days have that money right in your checking account ready to go.
Right.
So, that's why it's very important to not only will One PR Credit Solutions fix your personal credit, then I'm going to go ahead and build your business credit with One PR Business Development. But then once all that is done, I'm going to help you get the funding and lending as well as early as 72 hours. So it's like, it's a one-stop shop. Why go elsewhere? You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Where did they find you at for one PR credit?
Absolutely. So anybody, first and foremost, if you can't find it directly, always check me out on Google. So you could type in one space PR space Credit Solutions LLC. That's www.oneprcredit.com on the personal credit side, and then on the business side, one PR ONEPRbusiness.com on the business development side, for me to help you build your business credit as well as get you funding and lending as well. And then soon we're gonna add real estate to that mix as well. So coming soon to a theater near you.